Welcome to another video. Now today we're going to do something a little bit different. My wife's going to interview me. So we're going to go over to her and see her. She's patting the dog at the moment, so we'll talk to her and we'll get started. It's a nice dog you got there.
That is nice.
Very quiet.
Right. How did you get into photography and what enjoyment do you get out of it?
How did I get into photography? Well, you.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, got to thank you because before I met you, I didn't have a camera, and when I met you, you had a small point and shoot film camera.
That's correct.
And we started taking photos as we travel around the country a little bit, and it got me a bit more interested in photography. I'd never really done photography before, but yeah, that's how I got into it to start with. And what do I enjoy? I enjoy taking landscapes and nature photos, anything that really takes my fancy. I'll try anything, but I just enjoy the process of taking photos and creating something special, something different than what other people take. Lower angles or higher angles, or getting in a bit closer like in macro or something like that. Yeah, I enjoyed the whole process of taking photos, as well as knowing how to set the camera up. So all aspects of it really.
Right, next question. What camera do you like the most and what lenses do you like to use?
So the camera I like the most at this point in time is the S5, Panasonic Lumix S5. Why? Because everything just falls into place. The buttons, the dials, everything that you need to adjust different settings on the camera are just nice to hand. Like round by the thumb here, you got the focus control switch here. You've got AF on button, you've got the joystick right there, you've got white balance, ISO and exposure compensation right up there, where you push one of them, use the dial, bang, done. All these things just make it so much easier to use the camera without having to go through the menus. You don't have to take your eye off the viewfinder, you can just push a button and dial, bang, done. Lenses, I like using prime lenses, although I haven't got one on at the moment. I've got the kit lens, the 20-60 on at the moment. But yeah, I do like prime lenses simply for the fact that they're normally like ones we've got a f1.8, so you can blur out backgrounds, you can isolate a subject much easier with a prime lens than you can do with like a variable aperture lens.
True.
Yeah. Although you can do it with variable aperture lenses, but you need like a more telephoto type lens. But prime lenses are really good for that sort of thing. But they give you the best image quality as well, because like zoom lenses, there's compromises between the aperture they set in there and the zoom lens, the zoom function on it, the zoom range I should say. So you've got that sort of thing to contend with, but prime lenses you don't have that sort of issue.
So, why did you start your YouTube channel?
Why did I start the YouTube channel? Well, I've been following some YouTubers, people who go out and take photos, like Brendan Vanson, Greg Snell, and another one which inspired me was Peter McKinnon. Those pretty much are the three channels that inspired me to start my own YouTube channel.
Well, they're pretty successful, those guys.
They are. They're all successful in their own right. Peter McKinnon more so in terms of followers, over 5 million subscribers now. When we started watching him, he had, I think, not even 1 million subscribers. I think it was just under 1 million subscribers. But seeing these guys talk about cameras and showing their photos, things like that, it just sort of sparked something in me thinking, why don't I do something like that? I've been doing photography for a little while now and I really enjoy the process, and people often tell me I take good photos, So why not? And I thought, well, along the way I can teach people how to take photos as well, help them with their photography, like I've been helping you as well with your photography.
You have been, yes.
And yeah, showcase some of the photos that we've been taking, and like I said, help people along the way, which is another thing I like doing. I like helping people with their photography, so that's pretty much why I started it. Yeah.
And it's getting a few subscribers now.
Yeah, it's over 1,000 subscribers now. Hopefully in the next few years I can build that up to multiple thousands, especially as I've become either semi-retired or fully retired, which is only a couple of years away.
Yeah, so you're still working full time?
Yeah, I'm still working full time, so
that makes it a bit harder to do it all, doesn't it?
So once I can either semi-retire or fully retire, I'll have more time on my hands and I'll be able to get out a lot more and have more time to construct better videos and yeah, so on. So yeah, that's pretty much why I started the YouTube channel.
So when we were talking before, you said about teaching, helping people. Can you elaborate a bit more on that, please?
I enjoy teaching people, people who are willing to learn. I really enjoy teaching them how to use their camera, why to use different settings, like different apertures, different ISO values, shutter speeds and things like that. If people know why these things exist on cameras, then they can get more creative with their own photography rather than just sticking it in automatic mode and snap, snap, snap. If you know how to use the aperture and why to use the aperture, when to use it, you can get a lot more creative and like also getting down low to a subject rather than just stand up at normal standing height, getting down low or getting up high, things like this, using like an f1.8 aperture rather than f5.6 or 8 or whatever the camera sets. If you let the camera set things for you, you're not in control of the creative process. You're just taking a photo. Whereas I look at it this way, if I'm adjusting things, I'm making a photo. I'm not just taking a snapshot. You know what I mean?
So in other words, you might as well use your cell phone if you're not going to change settings on that.
Yeah, if you want to leave this in auto, you might as well just use a cell phone because it's in your pocket all the time. Whereas this, you can be a lot more creative with a digital SLR. You can change the lens.
Get everything lined up.
Yep. You can change your aperture. You can change your shutter speed. You can change the ISO. If you're in a darker environment, you can bump the ISO up to get a faster shutter speed. You've got a waterfall. You take a snapshot with a cell phone. They do have creative modes on them, but you're not in control of it. You can, on a camera like this, you can adjust the shutter speed so you can get the water all nicely blurred out, or you can freeze the action and see all the water droplets in the waterfall. And that's what I mean about being more creative. Or you can adjust your aperture. On a cell phone, pretty much every cell phone, you can't change your aperture. With a camera like this, you can change the aperture. You either have a dial on the lens, or you can use one of your dials to change the aperture. So if you're wanting to photograph a flower, for instance, but there's a lot of stuff in the background that you want, doesn't look very nice. Well, with a prime lens, which this is not, with a prime lens, you can bring that aperture, open it up to like f1.8 or f1.4, whatever the maximum aperture is, and blur that background out so it's less distracting, rather than seeing it all in focus and having it all detract from the main subject that you're trying to photograph. That's what I mean about teaching people. If I can teach people how to get more creative with their photography, they'll get more enjoyment out of it. And that's what I've been doing. I've been learning as much as I can about the cameras, the settings, everything like that, to try and be a bit more creative rather than just take snapshots like there's so many people just buy a flash camera and think, oh, I'll be able to take great photos, you know. But if you don't know how to use it, there's not much point in buying a flash camera or lens. You can buy the most expensive camera in the world, the best photography-wise camera, but if you don't know how to use it, you're just going to take just average photos. But you could get like somebody who knows how to adjust the settings on the camera, give them one of the worst cameras you can buy on the internet, they can still take a great photo. They know how to adjust the settings, they're going to get a better photo than somebody who's got the best camera in the world but doesn't know how to use it. Sure, you'll get good image quality, but good image quality and good composition are two different things, totally different things. If you know how to change everything on the settings on your camera, then you can create a great photo. Even if the image quality is not that great, it still will look good. I mean, I've taken photos on 2 megapixel cameras that turn out really good because you know how to use them. You know how to adjust the settings. But you get a camera that's got 60 megapixels on it, but if you don't know how to use it, you're going to get a lot of resolution, but your composition might not be the best. And that's what I want to teach people as well, is composition. So yeah, that's what I'm meaning. That's what I hope to get more into on this YouTube channel, to try and teach people how to use their cameras properly.
So what's your favourite subject to photograph?
My favourite subject is landscapes, nature, macro, that sort of thing. Sports and action doesn't interest me. Wedding photography, nah. Portraits, I don't mind doing some portraits, but I don't really want to get into that as such. I'll do a portrait for somebody if they ask me, but I'd rather do like nature photography. Things like these little creatures over here that we've already photographed, and this one in behind, the eagle. They don't complain. This sort of scenes here, these sort of scenes, you can sit here for hours just watching the light. What's so funny?
It is true though.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
Yeah, but you can sit here for hours and watch the light change through a forest, but you can't do that with a wedding. Wait for the bright light, or a portrait shoot, for instance. You know, you've got to get these things done. It's a bit more stress. This is no stress.
And with a wedding too, if it's a wet day, oh, I've got to change everything. Now what do I do?
Exactly, yeah. Weddings are very stressful things, and some people thrive on them, but not me. I don't want all that stress, that responsibility. But landscapes, nature photography, finding things in the forest, that sort of thing, I love doing. I'd rather do that than action or sports or wedding photography. So yeah, that's my favourite subject to photograph.
And like with sports too, you probably have to bigger lens and different stuff to keep up with all the stuff.
Yep.
And know what players to follow. And
yep, that's right. And I'm not really into sports as such, so trying to follow who's the best player, who plays this position, who plays that position, I'm not interested in that. So landscapes, give me a landscape any day.
Next question, do you shoot in black and white much?
Shoot in black and white, I do sometimes, not as much as I would like to. I think if I had a camera that only shot in black and white, didn't have any colour information whatsoever in it, I think I'd be more keen to go out with that sort of camera than just using this and converting to black and white. Leica do make a camera that's just black and white only. Now the Leica camera is more dedicated, it's a dedicated black and white camera, and it's more tuned to black and white images than a camera that's designed for colour photography. So you should get better black and white tones out of that than you would do with one with a colour filter on it. Taking the colour filter away would just enhance the grey, black grey sort of tones in the image. I think it would be much better using one of those type of cameras.
That's true, yeah.
If I ever get the chance to, I will grab one and test it out. But yeah, I do like black and white sometimes, but you got to find the right subject too.
That's true, yeah, you do.
Yeah, some images just look better in black and white.
Like even old cars.
Yeah,
Some of
Yeah.
the older stuff, even
yeah.
older homes because of the way they're done.
I'll put some samples of a couple of images I've done out here of like some of the tree roots that I think look good in black and white. But some of these things like this, though they might look alright in black and white, and it's hard to visualise that in black and white because we all see in colour. If we had glasses that converted everything to black and white, then we'd see the world in black and white. We might be able to pick what subjects might work better in black and white for our photography. But because we would see the world in colour, it's a little bit more difficult because you see all these colours, they're popping out at it, the greens, the reds, the oranges, all those sorts of colours, they just pop out at you and you can't help but notice those, and you think, okay, well I want to photograph that because of that bright red chair in the image or something like that. Whereas in black and white, you've got to look for the tones, the gradients of different greys and blacks and so forth. And like I said before, some subjects lend themselves better to black and white than colour. We'll move on. Did you take any photos?
Right. How many years have you been doing photography for?
How long have we been together for? About 38 years? 38 years.
But starting off with just little cameras and then...
Yeah. So yeah, well, I started off with using your film camera. Like I said in one of the questions earlier, started off using your film camera, and that got me hooked into photography. So we just progressed onto film SLR, and then onto a digital SLR, and now onto mirrorless. So it's been
The last 15 years?
since digital SLR, 2007 we got that. So that's been what, 17 years.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
said 15. It wasn't a bad
Yeah.
guess.
So 17 years since we got our first DSLR,
Yeah.
and mirrorless cameras we've been filming with them for the last 5-6 years maybe.
It probably would be something like that.
We've had a variety of cameras. I've tested out, I've tried quite a few, I must admit.
I mean, put on the spot like this is like you've got to think back about, well, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, 38 years, and basically I've got you to thank for that, because
Yeah,
I didn't have a camera before that.
Yeah.
I wasn't into photography before that. So yeah, 38 years and still going strong and still loving it. So yeah, it gets us out and about,
there's a
exploring nature, exploring different places around New Zealand.
Yeah. But as technology changes too, it helps a lot more too.
Yeah, and moving on, I mean, like a lot of people don't want to change over to mirrorless for one reason or another, but I think once you do and you see the benefits of mirrorless, then, I mean, there are lots of benefits. I'm not going to go on into them all now, but there are a lot of benefits to mirrorless that once people get used to, I don't want to go back to DSLR. I mean, I have a DSLR, I have a Nikon D7000, and I've only got that really for this YouTube channel to test out different Nikon lenses and you know, maybe help people with settings on Nikon cameras and stuff, because I started out on Nikon cameras, you know, even with film photography I had a Nikon camera, then DSLR I went to a Nikon, and we've had a Nikon mirrorless as well.
The DSLR, you can't flip out the back screen or miss that.
No,
With some
not
of these
on
other
that.
things are like,
Not in the ones we had, yeah. But yeah, I love the mirrorless system. I like being able to see through the viewfinder and see exactly what you're going to capture.
That's true, yeah.
Any changes you make to exposure ISO, shutter speed, anything, you see those changes in either the screen or back screen or the viewfinder. It's great. So yeah, answer to that, 38 years.
Next question. Have you ever captured the Aurora or the Milky Way?
No. It's a simple answer. I've captured the Aurora, but only from the backyard. Milky Way, no. It's something that I want to do. Yeah, the Aurora is definitely something I want to capture, and the Milky Way, of course. Both at the same time would be even better. That would be the ultimate.
That would be an amazing photo.
It would be, yeah. But yeah, it's a matter of getting the time to go away to a place where it's dark enough and at the right time for the Aurora to show up.
As the saying goes, in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be when we're retired, I don't know. You know, you can go away on holiday and hopefully capture the Aurora, but if the Aurora levels aren't up, then that's it, you're not going to get it. And of course you've got to be far enough south to actually capture it. So we have seen it here from Christchurch, New Zealand. We've captured it from there in our backyard, but we didn't have the time to like get out and about and go somewhere decent to capture it. It just takes time. When you're working full time, it's very hard.
Yeah, because the Aurora usually happens in the middle of the night when you're trying to sleep, or want to sleep.
It can happen any time after it gets dark.
Yeah.
But the levels have got to be right up there for us to see it here in Christchurch.
Yeah.
So, you know, if it happens during the middle of the week when we're working, it's just tough luck. Can't do it. Can't sort of just go up to the mountains and spend a few hours up there during the middle of the night and capture it. Got to get up for work in the morning, unfortunately.
And survive a few hours of sleep in the night or the day.
Yeah.
So when you're out doing photography, do you like to be on your own or do you like to be with a group of people?
Both really. Depends what type of photography I'm doing. If I need to wait for the right sort of light, could be sitting down for an hour or two waiting for the right type of light. I'd rather be on my own and then I'm not holding anybody up. Just general sort of photography, if you're wandering around the town taking photos, for instance, or around the countryside, out in nature walks, it's good to have company. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy both sides of that. But also when you've got company too, you can also learn from other people as well.
That's true.
You might pick up a few tips or tricks on a specific type of photography that if you're on your own, you might not know, you might not realise. Somebody else might have a better idea on how to compose a photo and give you some pointers on that, or vice versa. I could help somebody else out, you know. But yeah, I like both types.
Here we come to the last question. Where do you think your photography YouTube channel will be in 5 years' time?
My photography, I'm always learning. I can always hope to get better at my craft and photography. Photography wise, yeah, like I say, I'll get better, hopefully to get better and to help others as well. That's what I'd like to do, is to help teach other people how to take good photos, great photos, how to understand their camera. YouTube channel, I'd like to say hopefully it will grow exponentially. It's taken a little while to get this YouTube channel up and going because I've been working full time. I'm still working full time. So doing a photography YouTube channel is hard work. when you got to work 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. You've got 2 days in the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, to try and go out and take some photos as well as do some videos as well. And although we get holidays, sometimes the weather's not always on our side.
Suitable?
No, it's not always suitable. We've been on a few holidays recently where we've had a lot of rain, so therefore that limits our ability to do more videos, because like this camera that's filming us now, the DJI Pocket 3, it's not weatherproof, so I don't want to risk it taking it out in the rain. Even though we've got umbrellas, you still get a bit of rain blowing in and around in the electronics, and if it gets into there and shorts it out, it's a big expense just to replace it, just because we wanted to get a video done in the rain. So I would rather not use it in the rain. Can use our Panasonics, but then we're shooting photos with that at the same time. You can't take video of yourself and do photos at the same time on one camera. But yeah, the channel, I'm hoping that it will just continue to grow as I keep putting up more videos. And yeah, I hope to build a bit more of a community based around teaching people how to take photos, teaching people about their cameras, composition wise, settings on cameras and stuff like that. I want to get into a bit more. There'll still be more reviews. There's always going to be reviews of different products, whether they be older cameras and lenses or fairly recent ones. I don't have access to a sponsor for the channel whereby I could, borrow the latest gear. I do have the opportunity to borrow cameras and lenses from our local photographic store, but they do not sponsor me as such. So anytime I talk about them, that's my own thoughts on the store. If I talk them up, because they're good service, they're good product range and so forth, that's because I love going there, and they always give me a good deal. They're always very friendly and helpful. But like I said, they're not a sponsor. They just very kindly allow me to use second-hand gear for this channel. So yeah, that's what's happening in that sort of side of things. Always continue to grow the channel and my photography, and hopefully get better in both of them. So yeah, I hope you like that interview, the different style of an interview, rather than being inside on a couch sitting there just talking and answering questions. I thought, well, why not get out and about in nature? Throughout this video you would have seen a few photos that we've taken around Hanmer here, because we've been in Hanmer for a couple of days, just chilling out and taking some photos, doing some videos. So yeah, I hope you like that little interview, and yeah, it would be good to actually interview some other photographers. If I get the chance, I'll do that. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Bye bye.
Bye.